But look at all the amazing faces on this tonight. Everybody.
Yeah.
We get to see each other. It's fun.
Welcome, Marguerite.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
I don't know if any of you have watched the Member of the Month video on Ann
did.
Hightower Patterson.
Yes.
That is a fabulous video. I really did enjoy it.
I'm glad you liked it.
Where is it?
She was amazing.
It's under, you go to our website and
Under news.
Okay.
under
It's
news.
under Facebook.
It's actually on YouTube, but the link to get to it is on the website.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to look for it.
Well, you should go watch it. It's really good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
almost an hour long, but it is well worth watching.
Oh, yeah. Learned so much.
Oh, absolutely.
I took a class from her in 1984. That's when I started.
Well, I don't do watercolors, but I still learned a lot just watching it.
Yeah, just her technique and stuff is a
Yeah.
lot.
She does, and she does the jewelry now too. So
Yeah.
now that's a whole new thing, you know, she's
Yeah.
expanding her horizons.
And she talked about how she plans out and all the sketches she does before she actually commits to
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I could do things as many times as she does.
I know.
No, that would be tough, but you know, she made a comment that said that if you just replicate a photograph, which is basically what I have always done, that you're really just a painter.
Yeah.
But to be an artist, you have to take that photograph and you have to kind of tweak it to add your own signature to it, really, to make you be an artist. And I'd never really thought of it that way before.
I've been doing that with all my paintings lately, and I tell you what, it's a world of difference.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing it because it was just something that just kind of clicked when she said it.
Mm. She had a lot of words of wisdom.
Yes, she did.
She likes teaching.
Yeah. Well, that's what she was. She was an art teacher.
Well, she still is. She teaches at the Newberry Arts Center still.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I know.
Marguerite knows her well.
Yes, she does.
She's been a part of us since the very beginning. She was the first artist that I invited to come teach classes here.
Wow.
And she's
Do
been
y'all not
ever since.
Anna Kay?
Yes.
Tell them where you used to teach JJ Casey.
Taught down at Crooked Creek.
You
Isn't
taught
that-
me my first watercolor class.
Yeah, that was back
And
in
you
the
bet,
dark
no, in
ages.
Prosperity,
Oh,
by your privy,
yeah. Oh,
by your
right.
privy. Y'all know what that is?
Privy.
Mhm.
You
Back
had
in
your
the-
false. What'd she say? Privy.
A privy.
That was a long
I
time
just
ago.
did a Christmas card with that on it. I'm sorry that I
These
don't.
young, these
I
young
put
chickens,
a
they don't know what that means.
outhouse. I put the privy on the Christmas card, and by the privy is a bare tree with one ornament hanging down, really pitiful.
Aw.
And I put 2020 under that.
Perfect
And I
card.
was insinuating something.
Don't have a camera.
Do you happen to have it so you can show it to us?
No, I didn't bring it. I didn't think about it until we were talking about privies.
Jen,
Who else was in that class, Anna Kay? Johnson, what's his first name?
Dwayne. Wasn't that right?
Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah.
Dwayne. Yes, Dwayne Johnson, yes.
And
And I can't remember who else was with us.
oh yes, the lawyer, blonde, I can't think of her name right now. She's a member of our group.
Rose Stewart?
Yes, Rose was in that. And then, oh gosh, we had a
Yes.
load of people. It was a good
Who's living
group.
in your house, in that house now? It was.
What was the question?
Who's in that house now? That you
No
used to
one.
live in, where we
No
meet?
one.
Oh, wow.
No, it's
Oh.
locked up right now.
Wow.
It's
That's a
okay.
beautiful old home.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's Marcy.
Yeah,
Hey, Marcy.
I can't get in. I'm
Who is
listening to y'all
You
talk.
are in.
We
I
can
can't
see you, Marcy.
Marcy.
hear me.
Yeah, we can see you.
Well, I can see y'all in a little teeny weeny block.
Yep.
We're here.
Okay. Is that Anna Kay?
Yeah,
Anna Kay
Hi,
is here.
Marcy.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
haven't seen you in so long.
well, you didn't miss a thing.
Oh, I have. I know I have.
Same here.
You still out in your little place in Newberry or Prosperity?
I'm living in Prosperity, but I closed the art center.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and that was a good thing.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, I'm tired.
Oh, okay. I got that.
Been running that place since '04, I believe it was.
I haven't
And it-
painted anything in a year and a half because I'm
Oh.
tired too.
I'm not tired of painting though.
Marcy,
I'm too tired to paint,
Oh,
but I'm getting there.
now Marcy, you weren't with us at Anna Kay's in Prosperity, were you?
No, I went down once and I went and visited once, but I didn't go on a every day.
We were trying to remember who else was
There's
there
Ingrid,
besides Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne. Has anybody talked to him lately?
Hi, Donna Reed.
He rejoined
Sit down.
this year.
Sit down.
Oh, did he? Well, good.
Yes.
That's-
It's Monday. Sit down. Sit down.
Do I
Hey,
have to
dog.
sit there?
That's her
Do I
dog
have
that
to
she's
sit there?
talking to.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm already sitting there.
I'm trying to keep him quiet. He's fixing to go in the bathroom.
Oh,
Maybe you were talking to your husband.
No, don't have one of those, but I mean, I have this.
that's
I
the
have Cooper.
cutest in that cute.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
Watch out now, Al is on here.
Kind of
Oh,
like,
Santa Claus.
Yes, I'm Santa. It's our Christmas party. Cheers.
Yay.
she's got a kitty cat.
Got my pink peach tea
does somebody
and my
call the roll?
popcorn.
There you go.
Somebody call the roll.
Rolls.
No, it prints
Santa.
off.
Barbara gets the roll from when you sign on.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good.
Who's that asking?
Marcy was asking.
Oh, yeah, I got you checked off.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I have something to say. When I first clicked on and you were talking about painting from photographs,
Uh-huh.
that the South Carolina Water Media Society, you can only paint from your own photographs.
Right.
You can't paint from anybody else's photographs, has to be your own.
Right.
That's now in their rule, in their prospectus.
It's a good
That,
rule.
that is true of all pastel societies that I know of.
Mhm.
South Carolina, Southeastern, National, whatever. You got to paint from your own photographs.
Right, but
You
I've been in some shows where there have been artworks that have been painted from like magazine pictures and things like that, which is
Wow,
like,
that's
You-
not good.
really? How did you accept that, you know?
Well, the first year that Lake City had the art fields, there was the man who won
Oh, right,
second or third prize with the Warsaw Ghetto, and it was from a photograph that had
Right.
been published.
Yep, I
And
remember.
he
Remember
lost his
that.
money. He lost his $25,000 or whatever. it
Remember
was.
that one.
Did They took the money back or they just?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
They
They
did.
took the
Oh,
prize
my
away and awarded it to somebody else.
That was
I
a
would
hard
like-
lesson
And he's
to
not ever
miss.
going to be able to enter it again, enter art fields again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a hard
You
lesson
sh-
to learn.
You should never paint from any photograph that is copyrighted. And even in the newspaper, there are certain things that says AP Wire or Associated Press. Those
Somebody's
are
phone
not
is going
yours
off.
and you not use them.
Okay, I think it's a little after 7.
17 English. We still got people coming in though.
They're still coming in.
Yep.
All right, one of the things was Donna called me because people had called her about not knowing how to get in, and they had not paid attention to the email that's directed you to the president's letter and then had the link on it. And so she has sent it out again, so that's why some people are late coming in probably.
Well, Sandra, a reindeer just came in the lower corner.
Oh, no, I haven't
been on it yet.
Did you hear what I said?
That's
Sandra,
I heard somebody say a reindeer came in the corner.
the lower
Oh, there.
right corner.
Isn't working very good.
It's either a reindeer or it's a moose.
What's that?
I think its name is Maureen.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I think Kimberly's got antlers on too.
Oh, she does, yeah. Totally hysterical.
Nobody told me we were
I'll show
supposed
y'all
to
again.
get
See,
stuff.
there's mine. See?
Oh, there you go. See,
Yeah.
Oh, you've got them on your.
Oh, where my Santa Do that again, Barbara. Do that
Yeah,
again.
it's probably enough.
All right, well, we were going to get started and there may be some others that will join us along the way. So,
Yep.
well, welcome to almost winter. It's close to winter time and close to the holiday time. So glad everybody took the time to come to our meeting tonight. Just a couple of announcements before we proceed with our program, what we have planned. If you signed up or volunteered to check with one of the sponsors for the donations, please notify Gritty if you've made the contacts. Also, I want to thank Renee, Eshleman, and Karen Jamrose for hanging. Renee was the coordinator for Still Hopes, and she and Karen hung the Still Hopes exhibition after 8 o'clock, and they finished about 10:30 at night. So I want to thank them for doing that. As someone mentioned, it was Sandra Wilkie, mentioned earlier, Ann Hightower, Patterson White, was kind enough to let Barbara come and do the video for her, just like we did Meet the Members with Tommy. And we did one for Ann. It is on our website. And if you click on news, it will come up. It is wonderful to watch. Does anybody have any questions before we proceed through this? Because once I turn it over, then everybody will introduce the next person.
Who, if there's anybody in particular that the group is, that any members of the group are interested in seeing us do another one of those kind of videos on, just let me know. We can see what we can do about it.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to introduce Carol Blackwood, workshop coordinator, who will then introduce the next person after her, after Carol talks to you for a minute. Carol?
Well, we have at this point in time 3 workshops set up. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have the Lee Mott's workshop. With the COVID growing up the way it is, it just doesn't seem safe to have an in-person at this point in time. So poor Lee is out, but we'll try to get him at a later date. But we did get the Business of Art, which Olga Yukno will be putting on for us. That's going to be January the 16th. We already have our first student, I suppose, for lack of a better thing. It will be Zoom, and it will be $35. And what it is going to show us is the practical specifics of turning your hobby into more than just a hobby. So, and then we have Ryan Fox set up for a watercolor class, plus he'll be judging our March show. And that'll be March the 5th and 6th. And it's $125 for members, $150 for non-members. And if you just want to put a deposit down, it's $50.
Oh, okay.
should pick her up.
Okay. And that way, if things fall through, we can, but hopefully this is just a momentary peak in things. But, and then in May, we're going to have Julie Larkin, who we moved from earlier in the year, and she'll be doing collage landscapes. That'll be 9 to 1 on March the 14th and 15th. And day one, we'll be making the papers and things to do the collage with. And then on the 15th, we'll actually be putting them into a landscape or whatever you want to do, more like an abstract landscape, I think. And so that's it from this end. Do I have any questions? Did I forget anything? No. Well, I'm going to introduce Kay Stallings, who is our juried exhibition coordinator.
I only had a few things to talk about tonight. One was that the 3 meetings and paying your dues by December 31st is a must. I hope everybody already has, everybody that's here anyway, already has paid their dues, and hopefully, we're still shooting for having a real show in the spring. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with this this ongoing kind of mess we're in, but we're planning on it, let's say that. And if it doesn't happen, we'll just do what we have to do. So one other thing I wanted to say was, if anybody has any friends or neighbors or businesses that might want to sponsor or be, help out with the show as far as sponsoring and getting their name in the brochure, in the booklet or whatever, please just let us know, let Brittany know. Also, online entries start February 1st. And the prospectus for the show is already online, so you can just look it up, and it's pretty much just exactly like it was last year. And we'll still hang the show. We're planning on that. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes, whether we can, meet together or whether they'll let a few people in at a time to see the paintings. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So is there any questions about the show? We're headed in that direction, and it won't be too long now. So as fast as time goes. Any questions about the show?
Thanks for keeping us organized.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I need to introduce Renee Eshleman, the Still Hope Juried Exhibition Coordinator. And she's got a lot of news for you too. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, the show is up. It looks great. I really appreciate all the help. Sandra especially helped me lug artwork from Chapin down to the show, and the art committee at Still Hopes were very gracious in hosting us there and helpful in getting the show up. Of course, Karen is like my other half kind of thing, and we've worked really well in getting the show hung, and I appreciate all of those who put in their efforts to get it out there. It looks great. Too bad you can't see it in real life, but all the images are posted, I guess, on the website and on Facebook for all the entries. And we also have a PowerPoint that Barbara's going to crank up that shows all of the awarded pieces. This is the People's Choice Award. It's of the gosh, I forgot the name of it. High Flyer. Kim Case, terrific piece, and I had a great conversation with her at Take-In about how she stages her photographs. Just fascinating, and it's a wonderful piece. I'm not at all surprised that they voted that the People's Choice. This is the honorable mention is Laura Mays Rosser, Day of Promise. It's a graphite piece, very delicate, very beautiful. If you'll advance that, I'll read the jurors' comments. This softly rendered drawing sensitively captures the charm and wonder of a bride on her wedding day. So it's really a nice piece. It's another honorable mention is Anna K. Singley, My Flowers. So Oil on Board. Jurors' comments: saturated hues, deftly painted with expressive strokes, give this still life lively weight. Okay. A merit award to Alan Biedenbaugh, Poured Flowers. It's a watercolor. The jurors' comments: this lovely watercolor displays refined details and subtle washes in achieving its dynamic composition. Kimberly Case, merit award for her high tea piece. A wonderfully inventive picture in which content and technique combine to produce a delightfully whimsical image. First place photo is Erdal Kaba with Caress. This photograph powerfully takes us into a tiny, fragile world. The crisp and delicate details of the two dragonflies caught in an intimate moment seem amplified by the hazy background and giant slanting plants. A breathtaking shot. Third place, Roberta Bobby Sorensen, Red Sails. It's an oil. This quiet piece captures the soothing calm of a sailboat at rest. The bright, lazily tilting sails grab our attention, while the softly shimmering reflections in the foreground and the faint clouds behind admirably support the scene. Second place, Renee Eshleman, Red Hot Salsa Okra Strut. The loose yet controlled handling of watercolors gives this work its vitality. The vibrant hues and strong values make the plants pop toward the viewer, giving the picture a sense of depth without losing the abstract qualities of the medium. First place, Mary Collette, Durango Silverton River. It's an acrylic. This stylized landscape wonderfully captures the feeling and textures of a mountain river scene. The flowing waters snaking their way through the rocky terrain pull the viewer into and through the space. Best of show, Dale Bishop, Apocalyptic 4, oil on canvas. The scale, refinement, and dynamism of this oil painting makes it visually enthralling. The artist displays beautiful handling in convincingly rendering the four galloping steeds, ghostly riders, and ominous background, while also composing a highly imaginative work, an impressive piece. Thank you. And the judge was from Greenville, and this is the second time I've had him judge a show, and really have enjoyed working for him, and thank Nathan Bertling is his name for his help with this. And next up, anybody have any comments or questions?
Be sure to unmute yourself if you do, because you're muted.
I'm to introduce now Kay Fox, Vice President. Talk about the program.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'd like to say a couple words about our future things. January, we have Jan Swanson, great artist that will be presenting. February, Ryan Fox, who is our judge for our spring show, he'll be presenting. March will be our spring show. April will be Drew Blair. And then May, we have our last meeting for the year, and we'll be rolling there. Tonight we have, and we are very blessed to have, Margaret Palmer, who is the founder and director of the Newberry Arts Center in Newberry, South Carolina. She was raised in Duncan, South Carolina, attended the University of Georgia, the University of Illinois, and school in St. Louis, and finished, well, she got another degree, or finished her art administration degree from Newberry College. She's married to Joe Palmer and has 3 beautiful daughters. Marguerite taught school at Newberry Middle School and Dutch Fork High School before she left to focus on trying to get the funding for fine arts in Newberry. She worked with Scott Sawyer, and they got a grant to start the Newberry Arts Council in 2000. And so she came out of education in 2011 and worked part-time at the City of Newberry Parks and Recs to give her some money to work towards what she was working on doing with the Newberry Art Center. She started the South Carolina Play Conference in 2015. And that she's been working still to get the grants and everything. She started with actually no money at all, but they now have the Newberry City of Arts. So we are pleased to have with us Marguerite Palmer. Marguerite, I turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. I am just honored to be here. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be here. I have a couple of little videos and some things, and I want to thank Barbara especially for helping me get everything put together for the meeting. I wanted to just briefly tell you that I moved to Newberry in 1993 with 3 daughters, and was living in Irmo, and had really started looking for a place that needed some art programs. I had discovered when I got in my first gallery that getting my work in galleries and selling my work wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it might be. And I realized that what I really wanted to do was use my art for the good of others, to find a way of doing that. When I was in college at Georgia, I studied art therapy. I did drop out of school for a while, went to a few schools, dropped out to have children, got married, and came to Newberry. But the art center has been a passion for me. I never liked school, and I didn't like being in school. And if I didn't have an art project to go with whatever I was learning, I just didn't learn it. I had trouble learning to read. I didn't do well in a lot of subjects, but if you could give me an art project, I would do pretty good with it. And I realized as I got older that there's a lot of kids that don't get the advantages that I had. My parents would find art classes for me. I did not have art in school at all. And I realized that through the arts, you can learn anything. And through the arts, you discover a lot about yourself. You can learn to analyze and to judge and to decide things on your own. And I know for me as a teenager, when I took my first pottery class, was when I started to gain confidence in myself, because I had found something I loved to do and I wanted to pursue that, and I wanted to keep doing it. And it made me feel a little bit unique. It gave me confidence, and it made me understand the world I lived in a little bit better. So I'm gonna quit preaching about that, and I'm gonna start telling you more about the Art Center. So Barbara, if you want to play the video that kind of welcomes everybody to Newberry Art Center. It's Christmas in Newberry, And we are here on this evening getting ready for some parties and things that will be happening at Newberry Arts Center, which is right across the street from Community Hall. So let's take a walk across the street and go inside and see what all is happening at Newberry Arts Center. First, let's take a look in the windows. The gingerbread houses are set up. They came in yesterday. And everything is looking beautiful and festive in Newberry. This is also part of Newberry Arts Center. And we're getting ready for a Christmas tree party this evening. Got Christmas trees ready to sell. And let's walk down the street just a little bit farther and we can check out the clay studio and see what's going on at the Newberry Arts Center Clay Studio. Angel parties, nativity parties, and lots of things have been happening here. Let's walk inside and we can meet one of our teachers, Debbie Burton. Hey, Debbie.
Hi.
Say hey to everybody in Chapin at the Crooked Creek Art League.
Hello, Merry Christmas. Merrily Kiliki Maka, Haoli Maki Hiki Ho. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Debbie. And how many people do you have for your party this evening?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure I know we're sold out.
Oh man, that's exciting. Well, we'll check in with you in just a little bit.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.
As you can see in our studio, this is our temporary clay studio. We have to really make the best use of space that we can. We have 4 wheels out, another wheel in the back for me to use if I'm teaching. Back in the back is a kiln room, but students have to keep their work in the windows. And so let's take a walk up here and see what all folks have been working on. These are some of the angels that were made during angel parties that Debbie teaches. She started this a couple of years ago. Looks like there's a lot of things in progress here. Cute little nativities. And then look at what the kids have done. This is our afternoon art, and for this session, the kids have been working on clay. We have 2 really great teachers that lead this. Both of the gals that teach these classes have a bachelor's degree in art, and we're pretty proud of that. They do a great job with the kids. So we're headed back down the street to see our artisan shop. That's where our office is. And all of the local artwork that we sell is housed. So let's go inside and take a look at some of the local work. And now I can officially say, welcome to Newberry Arts Center. As we walk in, we're overwhelmed with the wonderful smell of the gingerbread houses. They were delivered yesterday. There were 7 people that signed up to be a part of the gingerbread competition, and apparently 2 folks, theirs broke on the way here. So here is a house, a lighthouse with the boat and trees. And then this one is called A Very Murray Christmas. And you can see the cats sitting on the porch, the dog swimming in Lake Murray. I think that Santa Claus is a big furry dog. There's another dog right there crossing the bridge. Wonderful big tree. This is really cool and it smells delicious. I love that the beach part of the lake is pinto beans. And the little dogs, their heads move. Pretty cool. This one is made by a local person, Renwick Price. The third lighthouse we see is a church. It's called Oh Holy Night. It is by a team of helpers, Marina McCarthy, Caitlin Coburn, and Leslie McDuffie of Newberry. cute little church with stained glass windows. I think the windows are so precious. And there's a little bell tower, almonds on the top, and the stained glass windows and trees. I cannot stop talking about how good these smell. This one is, oh, I already told you who it was by. This gingerbread, first time entry by Allie Stegall, and Allie is our part-time worker. She's never done the gingerbread before. She did it the day before, and she did a little St. Nick's tree farm. And here we have To Grandmother's House We Go. This was made by the Candy Cane crew, which was Cynthia, Carly, and Sarah Sprott, Michaela and Cheryl Gaden of Lexington and Newberry, South Carolina. So let's take a little walk up here and see what all is going on over the hill and through the woods. There's a fox back in the back, a wagon pulled by a pony or horse. Oh, bluebirds sitting on the bench. If we go over here a little closer, inside the fence, there's a bird bath with a cardinal in it. An owl sitting on top of the house, lights in all the windows. Over here to the side is a little bunny buried in the snow with his carrot. And back in the back, we've got a snowman. And the logs with the snow on top. Pretty cool. Kids Village. All of these are made by kids, and this little group, the Berry Bakers, Hartley Smoke, age 9, and Lucy Pruitt, age 11, of Pomeria, South Carolina, made the Berry Cafe. And I understand that they made their own gingerbread. In the adult categories, it has to be like 90% food, and they have to make their own gingerbread. But in the kids categories, they don't. They can buy a gingerbread kit. So I'm real impressed with the kids this year. This one's called Sugarberry Wonderland. Team of Santa's helpers are Aiden, age 9, Camden, age 7, both Livingstons, and Avery Curtis, age 5, of Pomeria. Look at that. Santa out by the fire. Mr. and Mrs. Claus. How fun. The next one from the Kids Village is S'more Fun Camping at Christmas. How cute is that? This was made by Jack, age 8, James, age 6, and Kate Shealy, age 10, Carson, age 70, and Marty Doherty, age 5, of Leesville, South Carolina. Look at the tent. That's pretty cool. And the last one in the competition for kids is a Christmas on the Farm. The West twins, Paisley and Sam West, age 9, of Whitmire, South Carolina. Look at the barn. These are all just so wonderful, and we get so excited when we see them start to come in. They'll be on display at Newberry Art Center until January the 2nd, if they last. Sometimes they'll start to deteriorate, but we like to keep them as long as we can because people love to come and look at them. And you can see them anytime, day or night, because they sit right in the front window of 1200 Main Street, Newberry, South Carolina, at Newberry Art Center. We've seen the gingerbreads. Let's take a look around the Art Center and see what all we have to offer. We have original paintings by some of our teachers. This is by Marjorie Hewitt. We have a couple of watercolors over here by Ann Hightower Patterson White. Handmade boxes. We've got the handmade tables. This is some metal work by a local artist. It's a garden piece that you can put out, and his is very popular. We've had a lot more pieces, but we've sold many of them. Wooden mirror. This artist made a stand so we can stand it up. And more things that are made out of clay. So I'll just walk around for a second and let you see some of the displays that we have. We started out the artisan shop by just selling the work of our teachers and our students. And we only did it during Oktoberfest, sometimes during other downtown events put on by the city. And then once we started the South Carolina Clay Conference, we would have a huge pottery sale in here. And we found that after the conference was over, people would come in and want to continue to shop and buy pottery. And we found that, well, maybe we should leave some things out, maybe after Oktoberfest. So we did. It became very popular. Before we knew it, other local artists were wanting to sell here. And we started making our artisan space just a little bit larger, a little bit nicer, trying to find ways of display, sort of experimenting here and there. And now it has become a lot of folks' favorite place to shop. We are amazed at how often we have people coming from out of town or out of state, because Newberry's pretty easy to get to off the interstate. People like to stop in and have something to eat in one of our downtown restaurants, and it's become quite popular. We've recently started a new website with the thanks of Barbara Tusink, and with that website, we are now able to showcase a little bit of the work by some of our artists. And possibly one of these days, with some more staff, a little more expansion, we'll be able to sell some of this work online. So come in and visit Newberry Art Center in person to shop and see some of the work we have and meet some of our staff. So here's the main counter at the artisan shop, but our offices are back here too, and we couldn't do everything that we do without the help of our volunteers. This evening, one of our volunteers is here, Velvet Underwood. Velvet, say hey.
Hi.
And back here is my office. And then we had to kind of build an office for Sharon. This is where people come to pick up their Christmas trees. We're getting ready for our Make and Take art event. We are running out of space, but we have a really good time here, and we have a great time seeing everybody that comes in. So thanks for watching that video of the Art Center. If you have any questions, you can put them in chat. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. You can put the questions in chat, and then we'll get to those at the end. But I did want to tell you a little bit, when we started the Artisan Center, we kind of got that going before we thought we were going to, and it has really taken off. It's amazing how many artists there are in the area that do some neat work. There's another artist in town who moved here from Las Vegas. He looked for several different towns to live in. He came to Newberry. He had traveled and visited several different places, but found that Newberry suited him. And he and his wife moved here, and he bought a couple of buildings, and he has started, we all kind of started it. It's just, we didn't want the art center to be in control of it. Something called Newberry Made. And this is a registry of artists in Newberry County, and you can be a part of this registry. And he's setting up rotating shows of the artist work different places, and the art center can refer to those artists. It's kind of a loosely formed group that I think will help attract more artists to join that group and be a part of it, and that they will expand some of the things they're doing once COVID is over. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how the art center got started. So I sent Barbara a PowerPoint, and Barbara, if you'll pull that up now. So I'm starting with this slide because I wanted to tell you that, like I said, I moved to Newberry in '93, and one of my goals was to get some art programs going and offer art programs for people who didn't have it easily accessible, especially for school children, to be able to get involved in the arts. When I, probably about '94, I wrote a grant with the South Carolina Arts Commission and started an after-school art program. And in 2000, Scott Sawyer, who's head of Parks and Rec, Deborah Smith at the time was head of the Opera House, they invited me to be part of a grant through the National Endowment of the Arts to start an arts council. So we worked on that for about a year, getting an arts council started, and it began and then it fell apart. And I won't go into why all of that happened. I will say it was kind of political. Not everyone saw eye to eye as to how things should start, and so it just fell apart. In the meantime, I was getting divorced, and I had gotten divorced. I was raising 3 kids on my own, and I went back to school and I taught. Well, I had already finished. I'd gone back and got a degree in arts administration, and the school district asked me to come and teach with them. So I did, and I did teaching for 10 years and could not get away from the idea that we needed an art center. So in 2013, I had not been teaching. I had just been doing my pottery. I am not the type person to be in an art center. I mean, in my studio by myself making art. I like to be around people. I like to be getting things going. I like every day to be a little different. So I had really prayed and thought about this art center since 1993. So in 2011, I quit teaching school, went to making my pottery by myself, doing some art shows and things. And in September of 2013, took a part-time job at City of Newberry Parks and Rec, running their senior adult program and answering phones. I just wanted to be around people. I did not like being in the studio by myself. So at the end of 2013 and early 2014, I went to the director of Parks and Rec, who was still Scott Sawyer, and I said, this needs to be called Parks and Sports, because there is not recreation here. There is only sports, and we should be doing some art programs. At first, nobody really liked the idea. And as I persisted, he said, well, let's look back at what we tried to do in 2000. What do we need to do to get this off the ground? The first thing I did was I just opened a sketchbook and started writing down what a day in the art center would look like. And then I started doing proposals, and I did spreadsheets of revenue and expenses for an art program. The city didn't have a budget for it, and I said, if you will just let me get this started without a budget, I am sure we'll start making money off of it. Let me run it as a business, and not as a city program, not as a municipality, and let's see where it goes. Let's see if people are interested. So before we did anything, I felt like it would be a huge insult to all the other artists who were already here, to the downtown businesses, to the college, to the public school, to the tech school, to anybody who had any interest in this program. If we started something and didn't tell them about it ahead of time to get their input, I felt like that would be a huge slap in the face. There had been an arts league here years and years ago called the Powerhouse Art Guild. And one of the artists there, Janelle Boozer, had been a big influence for me. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about this before we did it, so that people didn't feel like their toes were getting stepped on. So the way we did it was in May of 2014, we had a reception at the Firehouse Conference Center. We invited all the businesses, public school art teachers, music teachers, band directors, the college, everybody that wanted to come and learn about what the arts can do for a community. So you can change the slide. One of the things we did was all around the room, we set up tall tables like you usually use at receptions. And we had handmade different things on the tables, pottery and baskets and paintings. We had colored pieces of paper with questions on it. If there was an art center here, what would you want to do? What would you want to take? What are you interested in? And we put out crayons and markers, and that was the only thing they could write or draw with. And we had paper on the table, and we invited them to draw something on the table or write something on the table. And we had a lot of adults having a good time that day. So you can turn the slide. That's some folks looking at the artwork and writing and drawing and giving us their ideas of what they think an art center should be and what it should be doing. The picture on the right where it says NAC, Newberry Art Center mission statement. The other thing we did around the room was we set up pictures. We had a picture done by Ann Hightower Patterson White, and we talked about we would have a table and a display of how the arts impact a community economically, how it impacts it educationally, what it does for the community's quality of life, just educating people on the importance of art in a community. And change the slide. We also had it catered and we served wine. So we thought that would be a really good way to get people's attention and to get them involved. Barbara made the comment that she was surprised we served wine. As a city, we cannot serve wine anymore. We have a new HR director that's been here for about 4 years. And when she came, we quit serving wine. But luckily she wasn't here then, and we did. You can change the slide. So they asked me, where are you going to teach these art classes? We don't have a space for it. So there's an answer for every negative question. I said, the old Parks and Rec is right across the street. It was an old house. It was abandoned. I said, we can teach it there. And they said, no, it's full of stuff. I said, yep, full of junk. Give me and the 2 other ladies here a couple of days over there, and we'll make space for an art center. And by the way, bring a dump truck. We filled the dump truck twice. So when the guys of Parks and Rec moved out of that building in a new building, they just left everything sitting there and started just dumping stuff in there. We cleaned it all out, and you can turn the slide. And we had classes in the big hallway there, and we started that summer. In 2014 was summer camp. When we decided to do it, we posted it every which way we knew how, but as you know, sometimes it's really difficult to get the word out. So we got a few families that were interested in our summer camp. We told those moms and grandmoms to start calling friends and seeing who else might want to take summer camp. So for the first couple of years, we really had to recruit people by the third year, we were putting people on a waiting list for summer camp. Until this year with COVID, we run summer camp from June to August for 8 weeks in the summer. We do not have it the week of July the 4th, but we will have 8 weeks of summer camp. Each week is a camp into itself. Children can come for 1 week during the summer, or they can come for all weeks, because each week we do something different. It is a very well-run program. We're very fortunate to have some young ladies who are great art teachers running this program. All right, let me change slide. So very first person we invited, or I invited, was Ann Hightower Patterson White. I am so thankful that she said yes. I think a lot of people felt like when we started this art center, because I'd been in Newberry for so long and I'd had my own studio and taught classes, that I was going to teach everything. It was very important that I made sure the community knew our classes will be taught by professional artists. I had admired Ann's work for a long, long time, and it took a while for me to get up the nerve to call her, but I called her. We had cleaned out one room that used to be the director's office, and we said we can get 10 people in here. And I'll let you know that when we got 10 people in there, you had to shuffle everybody for one person to leave the class. We were packed in there pretty tight. Ann was so gracious to come and teach, and instantly had a following. And she has taught every fall and spring and summer workshops for us since we started. And I attribute her as to part of our success, because having her really made a difference. The city felt like when I told them how much a watercolor class was going to cost, that it was going to cost, at the time we charged $165. And they were like, that's way too much. Nobody's going to sign up. I said, well, just because we're Newberry, we are not discounting the price of these classes. And just because we're Newberry doesn't mean we can't pay a professional artist what they deserve to be paid for teaching. They kind of shrugged and threw up their hands, but they were shocked when the first class was full. So they've been full ever since. The one thing we do, and we've continued to do, is we buy art materials for each class that we teach. So there's a set of materials here, just in case somebody wants to take a class and they're afraid to invest in all the materials. They can take a class, use the materials, and then realize the value of it. So you can change the slide. Then very quickly, the city manager was like, okay, I'm a believer now, but you need a bigger space, which we did. There was an old hotel downtown that was had a bar in it at one time. And the rest of the hotel had some businesses. The upstairs had not been used as a hotel since the 1950s. The hotel was built in the 1820s, had burned at some point, and rebuilt in the 1880s. So this building sat but wasn't being used, and it was owned by an out-of-state owner. So in 2014, the city manager, who's in that picture to the left in the blue shirt, he called me, the Parks and Rec director, and the fire chief in and said, look at this space. Could this be used for an art center? I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes, this is amazing. And as it turns out, the person who was managing the property liked the idea of an art center so much, and she and I had met, that she said she would give us the first 6 months free rent. And the city bought heat and air for this space. She felt like it would also help them sell this building if they could see some activity in it. So you can go to the next slide. This is the other end of that same space. So you could walk in one way and walk out the other, and it walked in out to a courtyard, which was great. You can change the slide. And we did all the work in here with volunteers. We had so many people excited about an art center coming. We were scavenging stuff. We would find out, hey, there's some walls and some tables. There's old doors in the bottom of an old building. Do you want them? Well, they were solid wooden doors. We grabbed them and turned them into tables. We took these walls, we painted them and did things with them for display. Someone loaned us, I think my father-in-law loaned us that scaffolding. Our HR person would never let us get away with that now. We bought paint. Like I said, they put in heat and air, and that was pretty amazing. Next slide. That is a class we taught in the clay studio at the time. Now, this was a pretty special place. We really, really loved it. It was big. It had its issues. We had bugs sometimes. We had a little flooding every once in a while, but just to have this much space was amazing to us. Next slide. And in December of 2014, I had reached out to the college and said, why don't you let your graduating seniors have their exit shows here? And so we had our first art exhibit, and it was two gals who were friends. One of them I had taught in middle school and taught some in high school. And it was Katie Walters and Megan Gordon, were graduating. They did their senior show here, and they both now work for us. One of them is a school teacher in the public school. Next slide. And so that was 2014. That was the first year. That's how much this community needed an art center, because they were just getting excited about it. And in December of 2014, I talked to a couple of pottery friends of mine and said, let's do a workshop. And one of them said, why don't we start the South Carolina Clay Conference? So we started that. South Carolina never had one. North Carolina has a big one, and Alabama has a big one, and there's a big national conference. So we had 2 months to plan it and get it going. And next slide is image of our very first South Carolina Clay Conference. Now it is much larger now. We have it in the Firehouse Conference Center, but it drew caught the attention of a lot of clay educators and clay artists in the state. And I felt like having a pottery sale to go along with it would be a benefit. We decided we would have it in February because I wanted to give a boost to the city, bring people into town from outside of town to come in and shop in Newberry. We had great restaurants and great shops, but you know how January and February is. Nobody's out and about that much. We felt like this would be a boost. And it took a while to get the businesses to catch on, to stay open a little later and do what they need to do. And now they're always like, give us the dates. We want to make sure that we're open for that time, because we have hundreds of people come just to buy pottery at the pottery sale. The pottery sale consists of art by our presenters, which are nationally, sometimes internationally recognized. And our attendees are either amateur or professional potters, and they bring work to sell. So it's a win-win for everybody. For 2021, we will not have the conference in February because we just don't think anybody's going to want to come to a virtual clay conference. So we're going to have it in the summer, probably in June, and we're planning that. We'll let everybody know the exact dates and when the pottery sale is. Next slide. So around that time, the lady who managed the property said that the artist, Nick Davenport, was moving out of the corner space of the old hotel, which is in that picture there. And she said, I think you need this space. Y'all are crowded, you need to expand. The city manager said yes. The manager of the property gave us a discount to get started in it. And in 2015, we expanded again into the corner space. And next slide. And we had already reached out from the very beginning. We reached out to the school district art teachers. I know from being an art teacher, they're kind of forgotten by the districts a lot of times. When it's professional development days, the art teacher gets sent to do something that has nothing to do with what they teach. So we started offering a space and time for professional development within the Arts Center. And we host, from the very beginning, we hosted the Newberry School District annual art exhibit. Years ago, there was a bank that would do an art exhibit for the school district. They would select their best work and bring it, but they would only show two-dimensional work. So you can just imagine being a potter, how I felt about that. So as soon as we had the space, we opened it up to all forms of art. There are 15 artworks from each of the schools in Newberry County. We do an award for not best in show and things like that, but the superintendent he picks the pieces that he likes the best. And then the Art Center gives gift certificates for art classes for some of the artwork. And we send out very fancy invitations. And from the very beginning, the parents and the kids have really loved this. They dress up, we have food. They treat it as a very, very special event, which it is. And it's pretty exciting to have people coming. You can see that was obviously before COVID. We did not have one last May, but we will have one again. So that is in just the corner space where we were. Next slide. So through this, you're going to see another little video in a minute that's going to talk about what happened next, but the building was purchased and they ended up taking part of our clay studio and moved us into a temporary clay studio, and which has been temporary for 2.5 years now. But we would have to move during this renovation at the Art Center, and we had to move 3 different times back and forth to different spaces while renovations were going on. That's a little video of us moving into one of the spaces. Barbara, I don't know if you want to play it real quick, or it's just a fun video. If it doesn't play, that's fine. We can go to the next slide.
No, it's not, yeah.
And then we started working again with Ann Hightower Patterson White through the South Carolina Water Media Society. And we had our first plein air event here, which is pretty exciting. And we've done 2 more since then. We plan on doing another one in May. Next. So like I said, the building was for sale. So we started getting a little concerned about the building being for sale. There was a person here in town that wanted to turn it into a boutique hotel with a high-end gentleman's bar and a spa. We weren't quite sure what was going to happen to the building. There was a man who owns a group of Hampton Inns. He came to look at it, to change it, wanted to change a lot of the outside of it. There was even some talk of tearing the building down, and a couple in town, Joe and Mary McDonald, who actually were my neighbors until I moved out to the country, really were interested in the arts program that we were doing and had given us some money for scholarships to the arts program. They got very interested in this. They were worried that the hotel was going to get changed, that it would lose its historical significance, and they were concerned about us having a home. And so they purchased the hotel. Again, the property owner was on our side, the property manager, and she gave them a very, very good price on this hotel. And so they snatched it up and started renovation plans, which took over 2 years from start to finish. Next slide. So we now occupy 3 spaces. We're in 1200 and 1202. That's the space I walked you through a minute ago. We teach all our classes in 1202, and 1200 is that corner space where our office and the artisan shop is. And so I think that's the end of the slides. Nope, that's the next thing we did. This year we started a nonprofit. So the nonprofit will work to raise money for the scholarship program and also for our next expansion, because we don't have enough places to teach all of our classes. We want to teach more things than we are. We want to do some with music, maybe video, documentary, graphic design. We would love designated painting studios, because right now we have 1 room, and for everything that happens, we have to run in there, move tables around, change it, set it up so it accommodates with whatever's going on, whether it's afternoon art for kids or Ann Hightower's class. And during COVID, we are sanitizing everything between classes, and we are limiting the number of people that attend, and people have to wear masks when they come to the classes. Next. So Barbara's going to show you a little video that was made in 2018 that's going to explain a little bit about the old hotel and the importance of the Art Center to this community.
The way they did this fence here.
That's amazing.
And the way the snow is kind of draped over the fence.
Right.
Is amazing too.
Yeah. Now look here, look at the chimney on the side here.
I looked at this caramels. It's very creative.
That we got concerned, and other people in the community were concerned, if somebody came in and bought the old hotel and turned it into something else, we would lose our home. We would get kicked out.
She will hold it until she explodes.
See you later, Liz. Hey! Well, I was working in the studio one day when Mary McDonald came in, and she said, I think Joe and I are going to buy this building. And I just was like, are you sure? And she said, I think we're going to buy the old hotel. I said, what are you going to do with it? And she said, well, y'all will have a home. We'll make sure that you're always here. But we've got to form a plan as to what to do with everything else. Because I'm going to take 4 pounds and put it on top of 6 pounds. And I'm going to pat it down.
Yours. Reserve your test drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration at Mazda US. So many fun things for kids.
I just don't think I can lay the lip out. I think it will flop. And I made a very strong prayer, just an anxious prayer to God, and said, I think I'm doing what you want me to do, and nothing's working right. So I need answers. Do you want an art center? Is there something else I need to know? I need to know now what it is I need to do differently.
If there was one thing I would want you to remember from everything I ever shared with you, it would be to create after loss, create something, anything. That's how you heal. Practice any art, music, singing, dancing, painting, sculpting, pottery, fiction, essays, no matter how well or how badly, not to get money and fame, but to experience becoming, to find out what's inside of you, to make your soul grow. And that's just what I tried to do, is just create and have something beautiful to show for my efforts.
This meeting.
Hotel rooms were all around me. Every room you see here used to be a hotel room.
When I first came to Newberry, I taught pottery for at-risk kids. So my whole purpose of doing an art program in Newberry was to get the kids that could use art as a way to learn about themselves, or maybe they weren't good with sports, but just, so through the school system, the guidance counselors found me some kids that could use their self-esteem built up. So I started this art program, and through it, other kids in the community wanted to take classes, and then adults wanted to take classes. So I taught there for 10 years, and I love teaching. But part of me was so sad that I felt like I was giving up on the dream of the Art Center, because I really felt like Newberry needed it. You could be in the way. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
In May of 2014, I was on a trip with my daughter in Atlanta, and I got a phone call I would have never expected. Thank you. My husband was killed instantly in a tractor accident in our home in Little Mountain. Obviously, we had trouble dealing with that loss. Shortly after that, a friend said that the Art Center was going to have a pottery class, and so I got involved. And what I found was that I preferred coming to pottery class to my
hey, how are you?
To my grief counseling, that I could escape and I could forget and I could create.
They are perfect for trimming. The tops were just right, so what I did was I put them on this board so it could start pulling more moisture. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to trim mine, so I went ahead and did that. You're welcome. And if you want to use the Giffen grip, which I don't think is all that big a deal, I think Giffen grip's better if you're doing something that's got a weird shape or gonna have a weird top on it. But for those, you can just do those on a regular bat, would be fine.
The same shape too. So now I have quite a collection.
I'm gonna put this one in the back because it's dried out too much. I can't.
Sitting at the wheel, it allows me to just forget everything, because it does take a lot of concentration for me to think of how to do it all. But it just lets me escape and forget everything else and concentrate on that, the clay in front of me. And then just to see it turn from a ball of clay into a shape and into a bowl or a vase or a coffee cup or whatever I'm making, it's a good feeling. And then something that I created during this time, and just something beautiful that comes from this grief and a glob of clay.
Yeah. That's Peter. Did you put them in the water?
No, in the
Dirty
hamper.
clothes. Okay.
Yeah, and blue paint. but everything else.
Those things started.
The whole thing here is the lobby. And again, the check-in desk went all across that alcove there. And so that's where people would check in.
Frankly, we have no background in doing anything like this. We don't have a business background. I'm from education. My wife has a small business, but no real business background for something this large. So we've needed lots of help, and we've been able to
how's it going?
To get lots of help. And we thought that artists would be much more inspired if there were old walls in here instead of new sheetrock or brightly painted walls.
We're just trying to keep as many features as possible that were part of the old hotel. And just imagine, they didn't even, this is 1878, they didn't have any electric tools. They were sawing stuff and nailing stuff, and it's just amazing how they put all this together. So it's been quite fascinating to uncover all this and see it. Ricky, what's happening?
It's great to be doing this in a small town because we know these people. You know, I know the mayor, I know the city manager. We are employing a local construction firm that is doing all the renovation. We're using lots of local subcontractors to do the work. So it's really a community effort with community buy-in, and we feel very fortunate that Newberry has been able to provide this kind of support.
It's 10% skill and 90% bravery.
Where do I start? Yeah, I know.
Like, who did that?
Lunch over?
Lunch is over.
Okay.
Careful.
Okay, we're curious about that balcony because the old hotel had a balcony right where that one is. He's gonna make a little documentary about the hotel.
And they're preserving things like the molding over there on that part of the building has to be dated back to when the building was built.
Save the history of the building so that it always is here for history, but bring in new life and new exciting things to the building.
Are you putting the skylight back?
And so that's where we are now. It's just been fantastic. And the renovation is going right on plan.
This room here can be used as a classroom for marguerite study.
Everybody that enjoys the Art Center, they are so excited to know that we will have a home and that the program's even going to grow more.
So I think the whole community is very excited about that because this is a big economic investment in Newberry. You know, this is a multi-million-dollar project.
So I think it's been huge for the town. That this was the center of town years ago and is coming back as the center of town.
It was me and two teenagers from the school and their art teacher, and we're working on a project. And it was in the middle of the day, and we hear humming, just soft humming, like a lady just singing to herself. And we all heard it, and we kind of stopped, and I said, where is that coming from? And it continued. And we, looked around. I walked another part of the building. I walked outside, and then it just stopped. And we never found a source of that humming. But we had lots of what we felt like was strange activity in the beginning. And then eventually, as they started renovation and stuff, we didn't hear things anymore.
That's interesting.
It was very interesting.
Do you believe the ghost?
I don't doubt she heard something. A ghost, I don't know.
What do you hear?
Maybe
you
a place has a spirit from the past.
Do you believe
somehow
it?
that manifests
Do you
itself.
believe it?
But,
I've had feelings of things that would happen or know something would happen and it's happened. So I want to say there's lots of things out there we don't understand.
Okay,
So that pretty much, I want to say that's Newberry Art Center in a nutshell, but it doesn't feel like a nutshell. Feels like that took a long time.
Hey, Marguerite, do you hear me?
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Caba.
Yeah.
I just want to say to everyone, I taught several iPhone photography classes there, and Marguerite was great in setting it up, and I always loved going there. It's a fantastic place. If you ever get a chance, you need to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the classes you taught, and congratulations on your award with what she was showing us earlier in the program.
Thank you.
All right. I don't see that we got questions in from the chat while we were talking. So let's go ahead and do that live. What questions do y'all have for Marguerite? And make sure to unmute yourself to speak so we'll be able to hear you.
Marguerite.
Yes.
This is Ann. You may want to tell them now that they can sign up for classes on the website.
Oh, good.
That's important.
Yes. So thanks to Barbara and a grant we got from the South Carolina Arts Commission, we have a brand new website. Just go to newberryartscenter.com. Make sure you put an S on the arts, newberryartscenter.com, and you can register for classes online. I think we've already got some of Ann's classes coming up. I know that Sharon, who works here, was working all day getting the calendar going. We've got watercolor classes coming up, oil painting, mixed media, acrylic classes. We are going to have some pottery classes coming in the spring, and we have after school art class for kids, and we've got some workshops in calligraphy and several other things coming up. And you can find all that at newberryartscenter.com. Thanks, Ann.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about doing anything with remote locations and maybe having some kind of a collaborative partnership with something in Chapin?
I would love to talk about that. I think that might be a great idea.
I'd love to see something like that happen.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that because I'm always open to new ideas and things like that. So yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
I know you talked about doing something with artist studio space, and that's something we've talked about here as well, and have not been able to get off the ground yet, but there is definitely some interest in that.
Yeah, we want to do a residency program.
Yeah.
And we do have some studios for rent here in Newberry now. And the old hotel is finished, and there's 3 artist studios upstairs right now.
Are they occupied?
Beg your pardon?
Are they occupied?
Nope.
Huh?
They are not. And they come with a sink, and they're upstairs. They have a window. They're neat spaces. And then Robert Matheson, who bought some property here, he has a building. He turned part of his building into some studio spaces. They need a little work. They're rustic, but he would definitely be interested in talking to anybody that's interested in renting a space.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Did somebody ask a question about membership? I thought I saw that somewhere.
I don't see anything about that in the chat. Does anybody have a question about membership?
Yeah.
Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know what you have to do to get in, to show your work at the art center.
So right now, what we're doing is we're doing work that is local, which is, we started out with just our students and our teachers, and we are getting ready to transition to a new way of doing it. So we're going to start a jury program. Right now, there's a group of people here that will say, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? And we're going to be going through a transition between January and June. One thing, we only charge 15% commission right now. We're probably going to have to go up a little bit on that and to at least 25% commission. but we're working on making it so you can get your work in here. If you go to our website, there's a part on the website that says, are you interested in selling your work here? And then you can fill out some information and send some images.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I didn't bore y'all with all the information that I gave you. It's exciting to talk about for me, and but I didn't mean for it to be quite as long as it is. I hope y'all have enjoyed it.
We've had a long good group of people. Everybody's hanging on is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think you bored them. Anybody have any other questions for Marguerite? Sandra, did you want to say anything?
No, I just want to thank Marguerite. Kay and I did, and Maureen has also done the ceramic Christmas tree party there. So, you know, we're familiar with it. We have all taken classes from Ann Hightower at some point. And, you know, living in Newberry, I'm proud of the Art Center. And it is a fabulous place. And she's right. It's a good place to go find gifts. Kay, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Yes, I want to thank Marguerite. Awesome. I was very impressed with the Art Center when I went to do my ceramic tree, but just everything there was just fantastic. Marguerite, thank you again for all that you did and putting all this together, because I'm sure this was no small undertaking. And again, we appreciate your time. I need to do the door prize drawings. So everybody ready?
Ready.
First person I got was Shin Wilbanks.
Shin's not on.
Okay, we'll have another one. Lori McCourt.
Lori's not on.
Diana Page.
Diana's not on. Sorry, we got a lot of people on the call. Draw the right names. Come on.
I know, because there's a big group of us here.
Yeah.
Joanne Bayless.
Nope.
No.
Marcia Murray.
Marcy.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Marcy. So that's one. We need two more. Don Bishop.
No.
You said no?
No.
Catherine Vital.
No.
Regina Burchett.
No.
I'll never have to go this far. Shelby Wilson.
No.
Tommy
No.
Thompson.
No, sorry.
Tommy was on.
What's that? Say that last one again.
Tommy Thompson.
Tommy's in.
Okay, Tommy Thompson's
That's
number
two.
two then.
Yep.
And Peake.
Yes.
Yes.
Then that's the three.
All right.
Thank you, Kay.
And Sandra, I'm turning it over to you. Folks, so stay tuned. So we've got some good programs involved coming up. Okay, Sandra.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I'll just say thank you again to Marguerite.
Well, thank
Pardon?
you all for inviting me, and thank you, Barbara, for helping me with this.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah. I did bring my glass of wine. I have not drunk it until right now, but if you'll get your beverage of choice, I'd like to propose a toast. To Crooked Creek Art League, present and past members, may you continue to be as creative as you have been in the past. To everyone who is here tonight, as well as members, yeah, you can have a sip now and then we'll try another sip. To all the members here and to past members, I hope that you have a good holiday season. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And finally, a toast to hopefully a positive and open to all sorts of possibilities 2021.
Here, here.
Here, here. And I will see all of you next year. Gemma, thank you for coming. That's my sister. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Enjoy it.
Merry
Enjoyed it.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Great.
Merry Christmas.